Today on Miss Cree Degree, we're going to be doing a facial, and we're going to start with letting the client's face steam, and we want to do that for about 15 minutes to get the pores opened up and to make sure that skin is soft. And then we're going to go right into washing the client's face. And you know I'm an herbalist, so y'all know I had to use my own facial wash that I created using herbs and natural soap. You'll notice that I had to take the eye coverings off and wet them so that they could stay in place, so that I wasn't holding them the entire time. Next, I'm going to, well, before I say next, I actually had a bowl of hot water and I had some towels sitting in the water. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to wring the towel out and I'm going to test it on the inside portion of my wrist so that I know whether it's too hot for the client's face or not. Once I do that, I'm going to take that towel, and that's going to be what I use to remove the wash from the client's face. And once I finish doing this, I'm actually going to wash the client's face again, because the second wash, you'll actually notice how much the wash actually lathers, because the first time you still had a lot of oil on your face. The second time is majority of that oil is gone, but I just do this as a way to show myself that I did do or wash all of the oil off the first time. And I do want to point out that our goal is not necessarily to just wash oil off the face, but what happens throughout the day is that dirt gets trapped within that oil, and that's what causes blackheads and acne. So, well, those aren't the only causes, but that's one of the causes. So what I'm going to do here is to just get a deeper cleanse. I'm going to use something called a skin scrubber. And what this is doing is it's actually vibrating every time it's going over your pores. So it's kind of shaking that dirt out. So that's how you get that deeper cleanse. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of showing you, I'm going to zoom in so that you can see what happens when you use this. So you see that dirt coming out of the pores, and I'm applying pressure, so it's not necessarily comfortable for the client, but applying this pressure does help get that dirt and oil out of that's actually trapped within the pores. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze anything out of the bigger bump that's on the client's nose. And as you can see, some blood and oil did come out of there. And one of the things that the client noted to me when we first started was that that was the biggest issue, that they wanted this bump gone by the weekend. So that's kind of our focus when we talk about extraction. So we want to keep that bump in the back of our minds while we're doing this. Right now I'm using an exfoliant that has sea moss and turmeric. It's a sugar scrub, and I'm just doing this to, again, go back over these pores, and we want to make sure that we are scraping off any dead skin cells and sebum that's still remaining on the skin. And I want to note, Herbalism 101, that turmeric is a great herb that will help with dark spots. It will help with inflammation. So that's the reason why we're using that within the sugar scrub. Sugar scrub is a little bit harder to get off, so I did have to do this a couple of times, and I fast forward through this. Okay, so you see the skin is glowing, it looks plump and fresh. So I'd say it's ready for extractions. I think our pores are open, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. And with extractions, I am using an extractor. You don't necessarily want to use just your fingers and squeeze. You can if it's a huge cyst type of bump that's ready to pop, but try to use something like this so that you're not putting too much pressure and causing hyperpigmentation by bruising that layer of skin. So remember I said that applying pressure, especially when using tools, is going to be very uncomfortable. So just check with your client and see if they are able to tolerate the pain and if they want you to continue, which my client was ready to deal with the pain at all costs. She wanted blackheads gone and any bumps and off of her skin as best that it could be. So we just went ahead and we kept pushing through. Next, I have some tweezers, and I'm just going to pull out some of the fine hairs and some of the things that are clogging her pores that are kind of the beginning of a blackhead or a pimple. So this was really fun for me. I'm someone who loves extractions, loves pulling things out of the pores, so perfect client for that. Next, I'm going to pull out my derma suction. And this is gonna just pull some more things out of the skin. I'm doing a couple of passes over the skin. No pressure really needs to be applied because the suction does all of the work for you. It's kind of like a vacuum for your pores. So this thing is very cool and neat. I love it. I definitely recommend grabbing one of these. And for my final level of extraction, I'm going to use a lancet, hold it at a 45-degree angle, and just kind of pierce the skin. Also check with your state regulations because lancets are actually not allowed in every state. But as I am in North Carolina, these are allowed for estheticians. So yeah, just go ahead if you have something that is kind of big and you don't want to continue to press on it, you can use a lancet, press it, and then kind of squeeze whatever else is left in there, and that could be dead blood, oil. Just get that junk out of there. So what I just applied is a toning moisturizer, and I did add a little bit of vitamin E in there as well, just to help with the skin's vitamin. And what I'm gonna do is, this is what I'm actually using for my facial massage. And of course, if you've been doing esthetician work for a long time, you know that this is the client's favorite part, regardless of their pain that they may have just experienced with the extractions. This takes it all away. And if you didn't know, the reason that we as estheticians use massage techniques is to bring circulation back to the skin evenly and to reduce any inflammation and redness. So this is a great thing that is going to help with your skin's healing processes. for my final tool, I'm going to use a facial roller and a massager. And this is gonna still further help with circulation. It helps with your skin tone. It helps with any puffiness that you may be experiencing. And clients actually love the way that this feels rolling across their skin. So this is also something that I'm doing as a form of relaxation for the client. And what this is a rose quartz. It's called Flawless Contour, and it actually is vibrating as well as rolling. So your client is going to request this every single time. They won't be able to get enough of it. And that concludes our facial. And if you take a look at the client's nose, that bump is almost completely flat. Of course, it still needs a little bit more healing, but I think it's safe to say that it'll be gone by the weekend. As always, love, peace, and herb grease. While you're here, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment or a suggestion. Thanks for watching.